Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for December 2015 for Aries. Go check out my new blog on astrology and many other topics on my new website. Depending on what day you're looking, if it's November 17th, go to aspiritualspark.com, November 17th and after, and if it's before then, go to anniehelpsyou.com, which is still under construction. I apologize for that. But I'll be writing on astrology topics and all kinds of other topics, so you want to check it out. Okay, so what is going on for Aries? There is major focus in the houses of relationship and the ninth house for Aries, early, middle, and late. So we're going to have a strong focus on partnership, a strong focus on relationship, a strong focus on merging your resources with others and working together with others, basically playing well with others. Now, if you know anything about Aries or yourself, the tagline for Aries is, and I almost feel like if I were to wear a shirt that said something, I would wear something that said, does not play well with others. And that's partly true because I want to do things my own way. I have Aries rising, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So Aries energy is very independent. It's very fierce. It wants its own flow. It wants to do things its own way. It thinks it's right. In many cases it is, but we're productive, but not always emotionally engaged with people in our lives, depending on how your aspects are and what other planets you have going on. Maybe your chart is mostly Pisces, just with a little bit of Aries, and you're super sensitive and this isn't true for you. So just acknowledge that, This is talking about strong Aries energy, and anyone that has strong Aries energy will know that feeling of being rambunctious, of feeling like they want to rip and tear at anything that's shackling them or interfering or plow through anything in the way. So this period of time brings us further into this long-term theme of working well with others, going through and seeing what needs to be addressed in our relationships, rather than just dismissing relationships, which some Aries may have an easy time doing, saying, fine, I don't need you if you're going to be difficult, whatever, blah. And in some cases, setting a boundary may involve ending a relationship with someone, okay? But the focus on your short term that leads into the focus for your long term is improving the nature of how you relate to other people. So this December is going to give you lots of opportunities to do that. For you early degree placements, and this is coming for some of you middle degree placements, and this is coming staggered a little bit for you later degree placements and you later middle degree placements. There's a tremendous focus in the ninth house of Sagittarius. Many of you will have the sun, Mercury, and the new moon there. It's a lot of energy, and the ninth house has to do with everything Saggy. So teaching, learning, educational facilities, educational programs, different countries, different languages, different cultures, international business, writing, teaching, publishing, broadcasting. So if you have any aspirations in those areas, then you're going to be in luck this month or for some of you, it will move over into January, because there's tremendous focus in the chart there, lighting up that sector of your life. So if you're in that line of work, you might see work advances in this month because the energy is so strong there. If you're not in that line of work, but you're trying to get there, then you could have a nice sequence of events and synchronicities that push you there. Some of those synchronicities can be centered around these dates, December 1st and December 8th. December 1st, there is a beautiful trine with Mercury and Uranus. Uranus is in Aries, so anything that Uranus is making an aspect with, we have to pay more attention to for you because it's affecting Aries energy very strongly. So Mercury, ruling communication, ruling interactions, ruling expression, and this beautiful aspect with Uranus can bring in this element of excitement, good news, refreshment, refreshing insights. It's a good time to be networking. Again, Aries energy can kind of go solo with a lot of things, but if you're invited somewhere on these days or around these days, follow through with that, because some of the things you're working on and some of these blessings that we see either through relationship lessons and improvement or through things with the house of Sagittarius that I just listed, you might get them through one of these networking possibilities. So you want to kind of be out and available. So on December 8th, the sun will then go and make that same trine to Uranus that Mercury made on December 1st. December 6th, Mars and Pluto are in a challenging angle. It's a square. A square is a 90-degree angle. And this happened most recently. Mars made the square to Pluto between March 9th and March 15th of this year. So things, conflicts, challenges that came up at that time may come back up again. If you can remember, if there was something significant that happened. Mars and Pluto both can rule different aspects of ego, and we need an ego while we're in form. So I'm not saying down with the ego. I'm saying down with the domination of the ego. My spiritual work involves dissolving out and helping others to dissolve out parts of their egoic structure that are no longer relevant or helpful to their highest expression, and putting the heart in charge instead of putting the ego in charge. So then the ego takes its place under the heart as following through with the orders of the heart, rather than the heart reluctantly, with much pain, following through with the orders of the ego. So when you have an aspect like this, and then another one with an opposition on December 25th, which we'll go into more detail about, you've got a great opportunity to bust through these levels of ego. And because Mars rules Aries, this takes on more prominence for you. And we all know, if we're being very honest with ourselves, that Aries energy can bring up healthy ego, confidence, which is wonderful, and many people aspire to have that. But it can also bring up obnoxious, ugly, gross ego for the sake of itself that is totally not serving us or anybody else. So look bravely to this time to see if you can soften it and see it as a challenge to triumph over yourself. I learned something recently that just totally blew my mind. I love when that happens. I was watching Spirit Science. If you're not on the Spirit Science train, you need to get on that train. Go to spiritscience.net. They're amazing. Anyway, so they put into cartoon form this wonderful information on the blending of science and spirit. And this particular one that I was watching was about chakras. There's several, I think there's 4 parts of the whole chakra series. But they were talking about how the first, second, and third chakra, so they're basically likening the chakra system to an octave on a piano, and that the places where there's half steps, so from, like a white key to a black key would be a half step, and then from a black key back down to a white step is a half step, or a white key is a half step. But then moving from 2 white keys in a row is a whole step. And that there's a relationship between humanity, people, countries, moving into different layers of the dimensional experience through these steps that liken. You'd have to watch it to really understand it, but the basic gist of what I want to present here that's relevant is they were talking about these whole steps being the places where you bust out of a whole paradigm of belief and into a whole new experience in your life. And that those related to 90-degree angles, that if you put this whole situation in a circle, that on the crosses, which if you ever take any of my astrology classes, I talk about the big 4, anything happening on those crosses in the chart, such importance, 1st, 7th, 4th, and 10th house cusps in general. But in any way, things separated by 90 degrees are the magic steps that push you along into the whole new next paradigm of experience. 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle, Mars and Pluto, challenging angles. This is what I always talk about in the videos, that when we have one of these challenges, I'll let you know straight up, it's going to be annoying. It's going to be hard, very likely, and there's going to be challenges that go along with it. But therein lies the formula for alchemical movement in the direction of your dreams, in the direction of your highest expression, in the direction of your easiest, most wonderful life experience. So those conflicts carry such raw fuel for propelling you in the direction that you really want to be in. So welcome them in many ways, rather than fearing them. So you'll have such opportunity around December 6th, the days leading up to it, the days after it, where you can put your ego aside, lay down your arms, and come as you are, in truth and in love. So December 10th, there's another such area or opportunity, because Mars is opposing Uranus. and that can bring in sudden jolts. That could, if you put force towards something around that time, it can come back at you in a way that is not good for your physical body. It can be very jolting to your physical body. You don't want to be driving angry. Not that we want to be doing that anyway, but these are the kind of things that send us messages that we need to be working with certain things. And for Aries energy, it winds up a lot of times being anger. You have to work with this anger. So one beautiful way to do that is the Ho'oponopono prayer. I've talked about this before. I'll talk about it again. It's magical. It's free. It's H''Oponopono. And this is a Hawaiian prayer that translates to, I love you, please forgive, or I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. The power of this prayer cannot be underestimated. It cannot be overestimated. It's amazing, and it's free, and I've seen it at work in my life, watching genealogical lines forward and backwards healing from me doing this work. You know, watching seemingly immovable situations dissolve right in front of me as if they never existed, even though they were problems for years. With this prayer, if you are holding on to feeling like someone owes you something, you've got to let it go. And these conflicts this month may be your opportunity to really do that, especially coupled with a powerful spiritual tool like this. You know, if you are saying to someone else, you owe me, someone else in this world of karmic projection and reflection is tapping on your shoulder saying, hey, you owe me. And that can sometimes come in the form of people just having negative feelings towards you, or it can come in debt. This is, I believe, part of why debt is such an issue in the world, is because as a race, humans have this issue of forgiveness as a major opportunity in front of us, right? So guilt, blame, shame, punishment is all linked to this forgiveness issue. And if you think someone owes you something, then you think they should feel guilty, and then you want to blame, shame, and punish them. But then what happens? You have that done to you. And nobody likes how that feels. So you just better to let the whole thing go. And the Ho'oponopono can help you do that. You've got to forgive that person or people or situation in your life in order for you to move forward to what you really, really are supposed to be doing. There's no way to hold on to it and to get to where you need to be. It's just not possible. So you're going to have opportunities to do that around the 6th, around the 10th, then again on the 25th. New moon is December 11th. New moon in Sagittarius. You want to make all your wishes for everything Sag. We talked about this sector being highlighted for you. Broadcasting, speaking, teaching, education, long distance travel, international business, things involving religion. Also Sagittarius is rules, belief systems, and also churches and things like that, where people gather because of a religion. So you can make wishes along those lines, and they'll be very much supported at this time. So on December 25th, this week we have massive amounts of religious holidays, and the full moon is going to be in Cancer. So astrologically, it's supporting what already goes on at these holidays, which is the bringing together of home, family, people that feel like family, even if they're not, or gatherings to your home, or going back to a place that felt like home for you. So this fullness, this completion is coming to fruition. Sometimes this bringing of drama is welling up at this time. Also opposing, this full moon is opposing Pluto. So the odds for a power struggle just went up like 100%, you know, or we'll say 95%. So the odds that there's going to be a power struggle, possibly that same old power struggle that you've had every time with your family when you go back and your sister's being a jerk or whatever happens there, it's that same thing. Very likely to come up again just because you're gathering there and it's a reflection, but even more so because of the astrology of that time. Good news about it is that hopefully you'll be practicing Ho'oponopono and maybe you'll come at it a different way. More good news about it is that there's a trine to Neptune. And Neptune, in its beautiful, nice aspect, can bring this transcendent experience. So you can possibly get to a point in this long-standing battle with self, with others, where you transcend it. Mercury is also going to be trining Jupiter, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the energy of creative solution, like moving around on a cloud. If you ever know anybody that has a lot of energy in Sagittarius, it's like they're looking down on things from a cloud, and that's for better or worse. You know, sometimes the energy could be negative, like it's condescending, it's looking down on things, but in its higher expression, it can see solutions to problems and then resolve them. Like Albert Einstein said so brilliantly, we cannot solve problems with the same line of thinking that created the problems. You need to have a different line of thinking. And this aspect brings the odds up that you're going to have a different line of thinking that can come at it and just resolve it. You know, if you're at a standoff, which there likely will be with these aspects this month, there's such a chance for transcendence. So I'm holding the vision of transcendence for you and your situation. Definitely go to my website if it's before November 17th, anniehelpsyou.com. Sign up for my free email newsletter. Definitely go to my new website, aspiritualspark.com, which will be November 17th and after, and check out my new blogs. You know, if you've been watching my videos, I am not known for my succinctness. I'm wordy, and that is how energy moves through me. But the blogs that I'm going to be doing for astrology, for each sign, I'm going to have little summaries of your need to know areas of focus for the month, so that you can take these spiritual topics that are bigger and assimilate them, but then you can also have some key, just very mundane points of what you need to know that month. And you definitely want to sign up for my free email newsletter, because I do a write-up for the month before that includes a lot of information that I don't always go over in the video, nor will I go over in the blog. So it's all working together to give you more information. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the month. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the year. I will see you next year. Take care. Bye.